Right, I'm just going to do... I'm not even going to say, like, hello or welcome.
Okay,
I'm just
that's
doing,
quite
like,
weird.
a normal, like, just
quite weird. I mean, that's not how we start usually. It's just, it's a business meeting.
I can't deal with
but
change.
I don't do the kind of big intro very well.
You do.
Right.
And then sometimes I come in too quiet and I think that's a bit creepy.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd just start.
Okay, well,
How are you anyway?
I'm fine, thanks. Yeah, I'm fine.
you?
I'm fine.
I'm good, but I've got no idea what we're doing.
Do you know what, Ryan?
Yeah.
The only problem is if we had to pitch for this money in this theme park, we had to go in, that start of your pitch, like a wet little flannel, we'd be sent out on our arses. We wouldn't even get £1 billion.
Flannels are quite small as it is. How small is this flannel you're imagining?
And why is it wet?
Well, it's
Where's
wet because it's been soaked in bath water and you're just washing your bits with it.
But a flannel, its very nature should be wet, so that's quite effective. I think you were almost, you got your metaphors mixed up. You went for wet lettuce.
No, did I?
And you came out with wet flannel.
Lettuce is 90% water.
A wet
so of
flannel.
course it's
I've heard
lettuce.
Wet flannel's a phrase.
Of course
I'm
it's
sure.
water.
Wet flannel?
Have you never washed your face with a lettuce either? Well, I have.
Yeah, and in Chinese restaurants you can get a little
finger bowl of lettuce water for a flannel.
Lovely.
Are you saying that on Chinese airlines that they hand out
lettuces
hot
as
lettuce.
fresheners? Hot lettuce, madam.
Hot lettuce, madam.
Would you like to freshen up with a hot lettuce?
Well, I think that's probably enough of that. Let's get on with it.
Yep.
Two lonely travellers in the Qatari desert. One of them has an email in his inbox that gives him $1 billion. What's that shimmering in the heat haze? Is it a football theme park? I think it is. Hey, let's go check it out. What is this place? It's amazing. Is it football land? Yeah, it's football land. Definitely 2 words.
I'm calling this the Unsung Hero.
Yeah.
Right, now, we need music in football land.
Yeah.
And we need like that kind of like background music.
Yeah.
When you're like in a queue, you might call up the football land hotline. Maybe it's on in the background.
Yeah.
Do you know when you go to like a shop that's not paid the license fee?
Yeah.
And they've got like cover versions
Sound-alikes.
I used to work somewhere that they had a radio station of sound-alikes, and it was insane.
Wow.
And I've heard the term Muzak before. Firstly, I didn't know how to spell it, and secondly, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So I googled something roughly to that, and I learned that it's called Muzak, Muzak, and it's a company that makes
a company,
an actual company called Muzak. So
which came first?
So they were the original royalty-free rights.
Is this like Hoover? We call them Hoovers, but that's
that American Xerox thing and all of that stuff.
Hoover. Yeah,
and
Jacuzzi is another one.
Yeah,
we do.
Iro.
We do the reverse we do sellotape, don't we? Whereas
Tippex.
They call it Scotch tape.
Yeah, Scotch tape. Scottish people just like
tartan tape.
Tartan tape. Yeah, why do they think
when
Scottish people love sellotape so much?
And it gets you a little bit tipsy. So yeah, basically, I'm thinking that we touched on the Unsung Hero a few episodes ago when we were. I think it was the UR Canada ride. We talked about, I think it was a groundsman came up and we were talking about the effort that the groundsman has to come into, gets no praise.
Yeah.
And that got me thinking about unsung heroes. But it poses like a real like conundrum in that how do you make a song about an unsung hero without heroizing them? So for this to kind of like remain sort of non-intrusive and kind of totally unrememberable, to use the proper Glenglese.
Very good.
Glenglish. It can't be about anybody known.
Okay.
And it can't be too flash.
Yeah.
It's also, let's be literal. This is literal. It's background music. It should be about background staff. And I think it should be drab and flat, potentially bordering on offensive, so that we definitely make sure we don't heroise anybody.
Sure.
And it's really tough to do that.
Because what you're asking for basically is to create the musical version of Fred or Lucas Laver.
Yeah.
Completely I mean, you'd think kind of
Even Lucas Later.
not paddling under the behind the scenes. Just you kind of think he does nothing in a game, but he actually pulls more strings than you think.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's so drab as to be unremarkable.
Yeah, but then you can't.
Fred is not unremarkable. He's remarkable largely for the wrong reasons.
Right. Okay. What about Scott McTominay then?
Yeah,
maybe. Although he does get a bit of praise, but I
Lee
guess
Carsley.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm focusing more on like Jane from accounting.
Oh, I see. Right, you're going right back room.
So I had
right behind the scenes.
I had like a little. So like the first one that came to me was like Jane in Legal's got bad breath.
Okay.
So does her assistant Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
But I had to come.
Not nice. Not nice, but well done.
I had to go like quite drab because I think my first version was like. It was a bit too jazzy. I was like, Jane in Legal's got bad breath. It was, it's too oh, hold on. Tell me more about Jane's bad breath. And it was like, Jane in Illegal's got bad breath, but so's her assistant, Elizabeth. And he got a tiny bit too like...
So is the whole point of Muzak is so behind the scenes that you don't even register it as music.
Exactly.
It's got to be that low-key and boring.
Yeah.
So boring music
really
that just fills
hard.
the time.
It is...
fills the air.
I had a couple of others that I jotted down. I was like, John the Kit Man, he's a douche. Phil's got sweaty hands for a masseuse.
Yeah, but I think that tune is almost too sort of memorable.
Yeah.
And does masseuse... It stands out because masseuse doesn't rhyme with douche.
Yeah, and also so that's an interesting story you've picked up on.
Okay.
Like,
you see, I've got the wrong end of the brief completely. Mine are way too sparkly.
Too good.
Well, not good. They're still
not.
rubbish.
Maybe we can change it, and it's fine. This is all up for debate because I've got a couple that I think are too jazzy. Like I had.
Go on. You do a jazzy one. I've got quite a boring one.
I had. They get a lot of they advertise a lot of analytics roles, but they're always unpaid.
Yeah,
it's like unpaid intern to do now. One of the most
for a Premier League football club,
the most important role in a club now. Yeah. So I had he does analytics. He does analytics for free.
That's good.
You became Alan Partridge at the end as well.
That's too jazzy for me.
Very jazzy.
So I'm struggling. I need to.
Yeah. I didn't even think about tune. I just went with.
Oh yeah, go
lyrics.
on then. Maybe it works better if there's no tune. Then
maybe that's because the other one I had is way too tuneful, and it's too close to a football chant, which was like under nines academy development, which.
Not even a rhyme.
Not even a rhyme. Just like under 19s academy development, under 9s. Yeah, not under 9. It's got to be really
But I think that could work if you get a whole stand of people chanting that without any emotion. I think that's close to what you're after.
Under 9s academy development, under 9s academy development.
It's pretty underwhelming as a title.
I think most music doesn't have any lyrics.
No.
If you think about, when you're walking through a theme park, you just hear this like...
It's elevator music, isn't it?
Are you going to an Irish theme park? What have you got? Have you got something?
Well, I've got one it's a found poem. It's a found poem from West Bromwich Albion's club recruitment site. Because you basically said to me, try and find the most boring job in football you can.
Yeah.
Okay? And I immediately thought, kit man, that's not boring. That's just like an integral part of the job. That's great. You got to go further back, administration. So I found a job posting, and this is pretty much a found poem. It's pretty much exactly this. So it says, the safety and securities manager... Ensuring the fans move safely through the door, you must have an NVQ level 4. And then in brackets, in spectator safety management. So the safety and securities manager, ensuring the fans move safely through the door. You must have an NVQ level 4 in safety management.
Yeah,
that's the most boring job I could find.
That's along the right lines. That is, and I think
it's kind of like a grandstand site sort of tune,
the 80s tune,
sporty tune, sporty tune.
Definitely, I think you're along.
Mark, can you sample that later?
Yes. I'm looking forward to putting some harsh, tasty beats underneath that and then binning it and making it more boring.
Auto-tune it.
So I've got the wrong end of the brief completely. This is my poem about depressing kind of background staff. There's no tune. I'm a matchday steward, a matchday steward. You all pretend to ignore me, but I know that you heard. I secretly hope for a pitch invader and that I won't need the skills I learned as a first aider.
Oh, mate, that's good.
It's not finished. It isn't finished.
Sorry.
I'm 56 and a matchday steward. I like animals and my dream job would be as a GNU herd.
Oh.
It's finished. But
See, that's smashing. That's smashing. No, that's good. That's good because
I've got two more.
Oh, go on then. Yeah, I'll have him.
All right, so it's a similar kind of intonation, I think, because I was going for bored and depressed.
Yeah, you did it.
Mow the grass up and down. I hate my job, hence the frown.
Oh.
I have a fork and a trowel and a rake and a sprinkler. When I'm really bored, I sing the theme to Happy Days and pretend I'm Henry Winkler.
Good.
Mark, the first bit of that,
Yeah.
just read those lyrics again.
Mow the grass up and down.
Mow the grass up and down.
I hate my job, hence the frown.
I hate my job, hence the frown.
Yeah, that's almost like, that's kind of bringing a bit of like this, the modern day sauciness, which is now just like, fuck me in the bum hole. You know what I mean? They're just like, there's no like...
That's what Kitman says that.
Yeah, there's like, nowadays there's no... There's no like
at the end of the game. All right, lads, just put your dirty kit in there in the skip, and by the way, fuck me in the bum hole.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that sort of stuff happens. You know,
My word, it weren't like that in the 50s.
but this is what I mean. I like the older songs with innuendos. Like there's an old song that's called like, it's like I've got a rocket in my pocket and I'm ready to go.
Okay,
Like I like that level of. Like,
Well,
yeah.
George Formby back in the 30s, I'm guessing.
when I'm bumming your mum.
No, I've got a stick of rock.
Yeah.
In my,
Yeah.
And do you want to lick it or
yeah.
chew it? And it's like it's obvious what the
George.
rock is representative of.
Yeah, exactly. And I prefer those old innuendo songs, but the rhythm, the shortness of the sentences is kind of making me think of modern songs. And so there is something in that I think we could definitely, what's the lyrics again?
Mow the grass up and down.
Mow the grass up and down.
Like a bit like a Daft Punk song.
Mow the grass up and down. I hate my job, hands around. Mow the grass up and down.
What was your final song?
Final song, okay. I'm not sure this one is going to quite hit the heights of the other two. Boots. I clean the boots. I've done it all from Premier League right down to grassroots.
Okay.
I live a long way out, so I has to commute. Jostling with the brutes in suits. My job constitutes no absolutes, just the troubleshoots of mud and roots on the boots, so the players can do their shoots, protect their glutes, and I avoid lawsuits, and I also get through a shit ton of juicy fruits.
That's great. And that reminds me of The Streets. Yeah. Like a middle track of one of the lesser good albums.
Album filler.
Yeah, album
that was
filler
definitely
from The Streets.
Spoken word artist.
And, okay, can I do The Streets sort of string bit in the background?
Boots. I clean the boots. I've done it all from the Premier League right down to grassroots.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
That is, I thought the first one, actually, when you were saying it, could be set, was a bit Smiths-like.
Oh.
I'm all the grass, up and down. I hate my job, hence the frown.
Right, okay, let's have a
Well,
vote.
yeah, a little bit of work to do.
Yeah.
Maybe what we'll do is we'll task Mark with some of what we've done today.
Yeah.
A bit like
He can
you did
sample
with
that,
with the Dwight McNeil song.
Yeah, you can sample that.
Sample what we've done and create us something utterly unrememberable.
Shouldn't be too much of an ask.
Okay.
Good luck. Okay.
All right, then. All those in favour of the Unsung Hero, sort of easing its way in totally unnoticed, slipping in sideways, sidling into football land unnoticed. Say I after 3. 1, 2, 3.
Delayed eye.
Ooh.
Delayed eye. I need to wait to listen to what
Okay.
Mark's music's like before I vote in.
I'm just going to
based
play
on
back
that.
you doing the Streets music underneath me. Boots. I've cleaned the boots. I've done it all from the Premier League right down to grassroots.
We've got a Patreon.
We have
haven't
indeed. We've got a
Oh.
Patreon. We've got a Patreon. Don't forget that if you go to patreon.com/footballland, you can not only have naming rights to the car park, but also you can pitch your own rides to us. And Phil Lee has done that. Phil Lee has
Phil
pitched
Lee's
one
back.
before.
Oh, yes.
A Cup of Caribou he did.
Yeah.
The Carabao Cup inspired teacups filled with
Carabao.
not only Carabao energy drink, but a live moose
A live
with
moose, yeah.
every child. He comes back with this one. He says, greetings, Anthony, Mark and Ryan. Footballland seems a bit short on performance art. I therefore pitch the I Love Football Global Theatre, in brackets, perhaps Global Theatre and World Gym.
Does he go on to explain that?
Featuring Eric Cantona.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, let's see how this goes. Featuring Eric Cantona and Craig Shakespeare performing the best of William Shakespeare. Heckling is encouraged, and those lucky enough to secure seating in the front rows, aka the Kung Fu Zone, may even get a chance to spar with Cantona himself. We've talked about actors being in films last episode.
Footballers being in films.
It's live theatre. We've already got the cabaret, haven't we?
Yes.
Which has got obviously the Deli Dancers and a few musical turns.
The Spice Boys.
Various acts like that. But this is highbrow theatre.
I'm glad Phil's done this
Highbrow
because
theatre.
he's basically braver than me.
Yeah.
I'd wanted to pitch my Declan Rice one-man show.
Oh, yeah.
Doing Of Rice and When.
When will I leave West Ham?
Yeah, when will I be actually legitimately good at football? And I was too scared.
Yeah, that ends
I
with
thought-
him getting shot in the back of the head.
Oh, spoiler alert! I haven't read that
Oh, sorry, I
book.
haven't read Steinbeck's book from 50 years ago.
Yeah, I was a bit worried about trying to do a one-man sort of medley of
Yeah,
Steinbeck
right.
with Declan Rice.
East of Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
Just east of him, staying to the
The
east of him.
grapes of Roth Berkeley
What's your name? I'm Roth Bather.
speaking.
Yeah, so I'm glad that Phil's done this because it allows me to now just say that I was going to do something.
It's kind of like Shakespeare's Globe in that ostensibly it's for Shakespeare, but they kind of get a bit bored, don't they? And they just do any old play in Shakespeare's Globe, in the
Yeah.
Globe Theatre. I'm talking about
I'm
the.
not sure they do any old play.
don't-
They don't do modern stuff, do they?
Yeah, but it's like, oh, we're doing Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, or we're doing, you know.
You had
I wanted to do Cat on a Hotter Tin Roof.
Cat on a what?
Hotter Tin Roof.
You're right.
Oh, after
Jota.
Hotter, not Jota. There was a Hotter.
hotter.
What's there?
Yeah, there was a Hotter.
But then I was just thinking about, Craig Shakespeare, fine. I don't know what character he'd play in I mean, maybe
He's
he'd be
just lending the
bard.
place his name,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's Shakespeare's Globe, but it's not William Shakespeare.
Cantona could do
Beach football.
trying to think about what I think of. Okay, Shakespeare characters, footballers or managers as Shakespeare characters. Prospero in The Tempest, he's kind of like saying goodbye to the old era. So he could be like Sam Allardyce could be. He's like the last dinosaur.
But Prospero's on stage, whereas Sam Allardyce wouldn't be allowed anywhere near football.
Well, he does
land,
like the stage.
He'd be like phoning it in. It would just be a telephone and someone holding up the.
Or Gerrard as Prospero in the last game and just slipping on his arse. But yeah, I think we do need a theatre.
We do.
Yeah,
and I think it's got to be Shakespeare's Globe.
Oh, yeah.
because that's a round
Of
thing.
course.
Yeah,
And Craig Shakespeare would look great holding a flagon.
yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He would.
Like, that man looks like he was probably born with a flagon
Yeah.
in his hand.
Yeah,
That's what they chant when he was managing and he came out of the tunnel. Where's your flagon? Because he didn't look right without one. One of the other things that the Globe does is plays of Shakespeare that no one else would touch with a barge pole.
Oh yeah,
And so I think in keeping
I like the shit ones.
Yeah, that's very
The really
football
shit ones no one wants
Very
to watch.
football.
the
isn't it?
really shit one. So we have the Henry Chronicles or the Henri Chronicles.
Oh right.
Oh,
So
very
Thierry
good.
and Henri the Fourth, parts 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry the Fifth, Thierry Henry the Sixth, parts 1 to 3, and finally Thierry Henry the Eighth, a little performed piece detailing his time as assistant to Belgian manager Martinez, and also the Thierry Orchard, which concerns his punditry and commercials work.
If there's one of those...
None of those get regularly performed, but they
No.
have. So the RSC which isn't the Globe, is it? The RSC has its own theatre.
Yeah.
They have to perform every single work of Shakespeare,
and you're
including the shit ones.
I don't want to see Troilus and Cressida or whatever it's called.
Well, it's worse than that. Like, The Merry Wives of Windsor is not worth reading, let alone performing.
Yeah.
I was going to say, which one of the Henrys is the least watchable? Because that's probably going to be Henri Camara, right?
Yeah.
You're definitely not going to want to sort of besmirch Thierry's name, even though I think Thierry Henry performing anything other than football, you're probably going to want to
Even Henri Camara.
He'd do
maybe
everything
Carl,
with that-
Carl Henry.
With that
Carl
weird,
Henry, yeah.
that weird kind of shivery grin, kind of twitchy.
Oh, yeah. That's like a really Shakespearean pose, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, is he a villain? Is he a goodie? What is
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
What is he doing?
And he's French, so he must be evil.
Who's afraid of Virginia Woolves?
Right, it's just the whole team.
The whole, yeah.
But it's the American version of
Yeah.
the spin-off team.
Yeah.
in West
Either
Virginia.
that or they're all,
MLS expansion.
it's
The Virginian Wolves.
the first team squad of Wolves dressed like Virginia Woolf,
Right, okay.
who was quite a distinctive looking lady.
Yeah.
We touched on this in the Waxworks a couple of episodes ago, but Glenn Johnson, Glenn Ross, or Glenn Johnson, Glenn Murray Ross,
Yeah.
which leads into the Seagulls, which is a very bleak Russian-centric view of Brighton and Hove Albion. Uncle Vanda, which is the tragedy of Van der Beek.
Yeah, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being an uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, really didn't.
I don't know what this
Just
one
Really
is.
didn't want to be an uncle.
Yeah, he hates
That would
kids.
be such a shit tragedy. I just don't really want to be an uncle.
I chose not to have children, and then my sibling went and had children, and there's fucking children around here all the
I
time.
just want to be Vanda. I don't want to be Uncle
I
Vanda.
don't know why I'm doing this accent, even though it's a Russian play. And James Van Der Beek is...
He doesn't flog.
What's James Van Der Beek doing for Dawson's Creek? What's he up to?
Well, James Van Der Beek, he was actually from the East End of London, and he put on a fantastic American accent for the whole of Dawson's Creek. Not a lot of people know that.
I'm just. Well, that's a great. You thought you were doing Michael Caine, but that sounded like Jimmy White to me.
Well, I don't know what it was. It was a mixture of like Roy Hudson and
Jimmy White.
Jimmy White.
It's gone a bit Bruce Forsyth now. Steve Bruce Forsyth.
Good. I think Phil Lee. What I like about this one, Phil Lee, is basically you've come up with the idea, but you haven't
Haven't
like
given us a
provided.
single
You've given us
example.
fuck all, mate. But that's fine because you've come up with the idea itself, and I like that. He's
Yes.
delegated creative responsibility.
He's like a kind of creative midfielder. He's created the space. He's dropped deep. He's allowed space in behind.
Yeah.
He's created
Yeah.
us a space now
In the hole,
that we can
Beautiful analogy.
Phil.
go and fill with ideas.
That's lovely.
like
Thank you
Mark's
very
just
much,
done.
Phil Lee. Thank you. All right. Cheers,
All
Phil
right.
Lee. All in favour of. I don't know why it's a gym.
Yeah, I know. Maybe
Sorry, right, it's a gym.
maybe Phil could drop us a line and let
Perhaps
us know.
well,
Yeah,
Jim?
yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
Shakespeare's Jim.
Shakespeare's gym. Anyway, thanks very much, Phil Lee.
Yeah,
all in
thank you.
favour of the I Love Football Global Theatre, perhaps Global Theatre and World Gym. Say aye. 3, 2, 1.
Aye.
Congratulations, Phil Lee. Well done.
Foot.
So I am going with something called Live Draw Love Balls.
Oh.
Okay. So this is a dating experience. I want to offer the punters at Football Land the chance to find love.
Okay.
And I think it's compulsory, and even if you're married, you will be entered into the live draw.
Right, okay.
The live draw love ball. So I'm intrigued by, as I'm sure you both are, by the live draws that occur in the FA Cup and the Champions League.
Yeah.
They are ridiculously ceremonial. They're actually dull as dishwater to watch, but people insist on televising them, and we're stupid enough to watch.
Yeah.
Even though you can just wait and get the full rundown.
Yeah, really weird
Yeah.
that. And like they've tried to jazz it up in the past, like the One Show when they do the FA Cup. It's just it's just making people watch the One Show, which is a
Yeah.
con.
Yeah.
But also they like had
The
last time
Wonka
I
show.
watched it, they had like a fan representing each ball,
Ooh.
and it would be like Port Vale play. And then they do like,
and then those two,
Plymouth Argyle, they'd be like, yeah, right, you two go over there. Whoa,
and they had to fight as a way
they
of
kind
predicting
of pretend
the
fight and like look at each other and laugh and joke as if it's all fun. Just awful television.
Awful.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't we get some of that into football?
Yeah,
land?
that'd be good. We can do a good spin on it.
I've revised this, but I'll show my thinking in that I've moved on from here. But initially, I thought it will be balls drawn from footballing royalty.
Okay.
An actual couple who have found love through football.
Oh.
Can you guess who I'm thinking of?
What, two footballers that found love?
From the world of football. Let's not get carried away. From the world of football.
Callum Brady and Paul Pesca-Solido, no? Was that?
No, I approached them and they weren't into it.
Two people that are in football.
It's one of the most romantic stories in the world of British football.
British football.
British football, yeah.
So
I put you out of your misery?
Yeah.
It's Michael Oliver and his wife Lucy.
Oh, right. What does Lucy Oliver do?
She's an assistant referee.
Oh, amazing. Good. Love
They
I
met
like that.
and
That's
fell
great.
in love through the medium of referee. So initially I thought they would stand with specially adapted, they'd be in their full referee's kits, but they would have specially adapted trousers which are heavily elasticated around their thighs, such that the names of every guest in Football Land
is a ball in the pants.
In the pants,
right,
yes.
Okay,
and then
a bit like jodhpurs.
Yeah, I'm imagining Knickerbocker.
They'd have to be quite big, and they'd have to pull them quite high. They'd be halfway up the chest, so they'd look quite fat and lumpy. But I just like the idea of Paul Ince rummaging around in those two.
What's Paul Ince doing here?
Well, he's presenting.
Oh,
It's always Paul Ince. So Mark Pugach standing at the side saying Paul Ince is having a rummage in Michael Oliver's testicular area.
Yeah.
But then I thought, it's not that exciting to watch.
No,
really.
no.
So,
that was the beginning of your pitch.
Yeah, so I've moved on from there.
Yeah.
And I've decided. Initially, if you were a man and your ball was going into a pair of shorts, the ball would be a testicle.
Okay.
And if you were a lady, it would be a boob.
Okay.
But that encourages heteronormative.
Yeah, there's no same-sex going on there.
And actually, football is crying out, we need people. There are gay footballers.
It's way too homogenous.
They're
the opposite.
They're
way too
not able
heterogeneous.
to come out, which is clearly wrong.
Yeah.
So we want to mix things up. So anything goes. So we're not going to genderfy you. Everyone is multisexual in this.
For sure.
But I wanted to make it more exciting for the participants. You'd want to be a ball, wouldn't you? You'd actually want...
Yeah.
In Michael Oliver's
pants.
Maybe we go big.
Ooh.
So you've got a giant, like, I don't think Michael Oliver...
Probably shouldn't say go big when we're talking about being in another man's pants.
Yeah. Well, we've got to get in Lucy Oliver's pants as well.
Yeah, but again, you probably don't want to go big in Lucy Oliver's pants.
Don't want to go big.
No, you do not.
But, I mean, actually, Paul Ince getting balls out of someone's trousers is not actually how it's done.
Will Michael Oliver's balls be like sort of taped back?
Yeah, what if
because otherwise
Paul
Ince grabs hold of one of those by mistake and this one's difficult to get out, and then rips out one of his testicles. That's going to be a bloody mess.
Yeah.
So no, I think we go back to the machines that are actually used.
Okay.
Like Camelot.
Yeah, but it's on a giant scale, and each person is in a Zorb type ball.
Right, okay.
So that you bounce around, you get sucked in through tubes, you get spat out.
So how many people are visiting Football Land every day? About 20,000?
Yeah.
So 20,000 Zorbs in a giant Camelot machine.
And you get spat out,
right?
Which is a whole load of fun. You're going to love it in there.
Yeah.
It probably takes ages.
Is it still in like a giant fiberglass, Michael Oliver?
I think so. I think that you may as well.
And Lucy Oliver as well. So there's two machines.
Yeah, just to speed things up.
10,000 in one, 10,000 in the other.
I thought we could bring them together. They could like be hugging.
Yeah, or making love.
Or
stood up.
Yeah, or maybe the tube you come out of, you maybe come out of Lucy Oliver's ovaries and down a fallopian tube, in through the womb.
Through his urethra.
Yeah.
And then out, up through his lungs and into his mouth.
I was going to come out
of his mouth.
I thought, we're like,
Because a
thought you were gonna
motorised
say-
voice could scan. Everyone's got a barcode on the back of their head, right? And he's got a barcode reader on his esophagus.
Yeah.
So then, as you're coming out of his mouth and you pop out, a computerised voice could be like,
Anthony Richardson. And then whoever
and
comes
it
out.
says a few words about you, like
Yeah.
you get to write a
Bell
50 word bio, 50 word bio of the person,
Yeah.
and then so it says all of that, and then you're
Yeah.
dropped onto.
And whoever comes out of Lucy's mouth, you have to bone.
yeah.
Oh.
Oh right, so it's a love match machine.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. It was
You
interesting.
don't have to bone.
Oh,
Well, you just go on a date.
You go on a date,
Scoffy
yeah.
Ocean
that's
Washbowl.
not-
Yeah.
that's not-
Should it be compulsory, or are we going to end up breaking up more marriages than we generate?
Well, it's interesting. There was a kiss cam video the other week I saw where there was two people sat across an empty chair. So in the stand, empty chair between them.
Yeah.
Kiss cam came on them.
Yeah.
I think it was staged.
Okay.
But
They kissed.
they weren't together.
Yeah.
And they kissed, and then the boyfriend came back and sat between them,
No,
having not seen the kiss cam.
that's so clever.
And kiss cam came back to them.
Yeah.
And he was all like, because obviously the crowd was like, ooh.
Ah.
But I don't know. I think it was probably staged.
Kiss cam's
But
a bit weird, isn't it?
It is a bit weird, but this has a kiss
Yeah.
cam kind of vibe. Either that, or it's a bit like when you go to a carol service and the kind of the priest, reverend, whatever they're called, the guy in the outfit at the front, knows nobody goes to church
Yeah.
and uses that moment to do something churchy.
Oh,
and he kind
yeah,
of goes,
I like that.
I'd
yeah.
like everybody here to turn to the person to your right, whether you know them or not, and say hello and introduce yourself. It's like
Yeah.
kiss cam meets being hijacked at a carol service.
If you're starting in,
Vibe.
just to make it fun,
Hijacked.
if you're starting in their bodies and
Oh,
you're going around
yes.
in balls,
Yeah.
that's a great ride in itself.
Yeah.
So it can be completely voluntary. You just get in the balls. Quite randomly, who you matched up with, because you're like swimming. I think you go around their tummies as well.
Yeah.
So you go down. You go
I mean,
down
the reproductive system,
there
as
yeah.
taught by this, that you start in the fallopian tubes and you get fired up Michael Oliver's
Oliver's
urethra
mouth.
and
Yeah.
come out of his mouth,
Yeah.
is going to confuse a lot of children.
But as a ride, it's like that's very like.
It's a great ride.
That's a great ride, isn't it? So yeah.
Why don't we just stick to the reproductive system, and instead of breaking out of that and into other bits of the body, why don't we have, obviously, some people in their Zor balls in Lucy Oliver's
Yeah.
system,
Uh-huh.
and the other
In Michael Oliver's system.
and then as in real life,
Oh,
the little
creating a baby.
yeah,
The zygote.
you
They
know,
can swim towards each other and both, with a small hammer, break down
Well, I
each
thought-
other's Zorball until they're one.
a little
And
bit.
they
I
come
thought
out
that
in
the
a-
guy could come out of his or whoever, not the guy. I thought whoever was in the Michael Oliver Zorb ball, when it meets in the womb of whoever's
This is
in there,
beautiful.
he climbs out, or he or she climbs out of
Yeah.
the Zorb ball and then climbs into the Zorb
Yeah.
of the whoever's in the Lucy ball.
Yeah.
And they emerge victorious and in love
And
from
they emerge
Lucy's
together,
foof.
Yeah.
and it's
Better for it.
better for it. And they
And-
don't have to like go on a date afterwards.
No.
They just come out together.
Better for it.
Yeah, but sometimes they're going to
Oh,
really
for
bond
sure. You know,
yeah,
and get married.
absolutely. Because there won't be much oxygen.
Yeah, they
and
won't be in full control of
It'll
their
be completely
faculties.
dark.
Yeah,
Like the capacity for someone to shit themselves out of fear will be high. Like
Yeah.
all I'm saying is,
and when that's rolling around, it's like my hamster when I was 5, shat himself
when
in his
you
own
shat his ball.
and it was just revolving around and around with his
Yeah.
own feces. It would be like
That
that.
could happen.
Which
And that
for some
is
people is gonna
bonding.
be
That's
romantic.
Bonding. That's bonding. Like you look at people
you
in
remember when
hostage
we shat
situations,
ourselves?
you know,
Yeah.
they come
Yeah.
out of it really bonded. Or people do a play in
Stockholm syndrome.
amateur dramatics. You
Yeah.
know, they've been like watching each other sweat and like do smelly
Hollywood couples
toilet
get
things.
together
You know,
regularly, don't they?
Yeah.
When they've been through, when they've been in a rom-com, they've basically
Yeah.
replicated an
Yeah.
entire romantic
Yeah.
relationship
Yeah.
from beginning
Yeah.
to
yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
exactly,
Yeah.
and then that's it. Then they're together.
So-
They can't get out. How about how disappointing if you got out your ball and got into the ball and it was like your brother?
Yeah.
You'd still have to bone.
But you know, but you'd come out of it in a lovely platonic relationship,
make sure-
like more friends, more close than you'd ever been.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. I was going to say with your barcode system, could we make sure that they never We don't match up.
You match people up along your sexual orientation.
Oh no, not even that.
No,
like I think Mark's
anything
like,
goes
as a vehicle for just they come out better for it. What better vague phrase could we attach to this than they come out better for it?
Yeah.
No promises. I mean, one man's coming out covered in his own feces, but better for it.
How about this? How about this? You don't have to bang, but if you do bang, you get a free key ring.
I thought you were going to say it's like private school. You don't have to bang, but you have to bang.
No.
And you never talk about it.
You don't have to bang, but there is an incentive if you do. You might get a free pizza.
It's like the COVID mask situation.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but we strongly encourage it.
Exactly. Exactly.
How do we replicate home and away? Or does that not matter?
One of the slides will probably be, when you go to a swimming pool and one of the slides is a black and the other one's a red.
Yeah.
You both end up in the same place.
Yeah.
But one's a bit more of a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
I'd say that Michael Oliver, gangly guy, isn't he? I'm just imagining like a misshapen penis, perhaps. Like, it might be a bumpy ride compared to his wife who's got a more perfect form.
Oh.
Oh, sexy. Somebody fancies Michael Oliver's wife.
That was more a confusion.
You've got such a perfect form. I'm just saying, his would be the more bumpy ride to go down.
I guess that was an odd way of answering Mark's question.
Yeah,
I know
it was still an answer though, wasn't it? And
it was
a very sensible question as well.
Yeah,
I can't remember what the question was.
It was about home and away, and you said, Michael Oliver's penis is misshapen.
But home is easier than away. No doubt, is it?
But some clubs
home is easier and more numerous.
In knockout games really show up when they're away from home.
Yeah, and that would be like you going white knuckle rides, you might be better for it. You might have a nicer time, you might be better
is
and faster.
Oliver's misshapen penis home or away? Answer the question.
Away.
Right, okay.
And the perfect form of his wife? Home. Like you slide down undulating hills and, wonderful. Whereas Michael's a knobbly, gangly, oddly shaped penis. It's going to be bumpy and bendy,
and you've got to get out of your Zorb comfort zone and climb into someone else's.
Yeah, and that is the challenge. Yeah. So that's why his is away and hers is home.
That's a more logical answer. Fine.
Yes.
You're going to somebody else's turf. Just so we can end this, can you just say that at the end they come out the bum hole? Because you really disappointed me earlier when you said that he went up through the stomach and came out the mouth, and there was barcodes because it was right there in front of you.
I'd forgotten biology, and I thought, is that how people give birth? It might be. I'm
sure in football land logic, we've said previously that boys come out the willy, and girls come out the bum hole.
I'm just saying it's not. We're trying to engender a sense of romance in the Zorb,
literally,
and will they bang? Will they bang? Not if they come out of the bumhole like a shit. Will they?
No,
it's not
like
all
into the
soft tinted and but still, you're looking at. We've just emerged through his bum. Should we kiss?
Yeah, but if you given birth via the birth canal, how many newborns? The first thing they do is bang. not many.
Right, I'm going to say they come out the sunroof. It's cesarean. There's just like a bit like a roof on a stadium that opens like that. That's how you come out. So after you've done it, the roof opens up and you just get out. Get out.
Yeah.
Right.
Just get out. Just get out, babe. If you bang, you get a key ring.
Pick your key ring up on the way out. Just get out. There's a bag of key rings at the end. Just pick one up and leave.
I want to see you having sex. I'm just a steward.
The key ring is just a photo of someone else. Just randomly assigned.
Okay, go on then.
Should we vote on this?
Time to vote.
So, all in favour of live draw love balls being part of Football Land's After 3 say aye. 1, 2, 3.
Aye. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Okay, all right. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff.
It was a weird one today.
Yeah.
Quite odd, yeah.
Yeah, quite an odd one, but no, it feels like we've got a lot done.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Looking forward to building those.
Definitely going to start tomorrow building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which variant are you going to start with first?
Well, how many have we got to choose from? A couple of hundred now.
I mean, even just from this 3, which would you like to go with? You want to get cracking on the Michael Oliver knobbly penis?
No, I thought I'd start with Craig Shakespeare's Flagon.
Yeah.
And just buy one of those.
All right, that's it. That's it.
Bye.